And here is the Writer's Almanac for Tuesday. It's the 12th of March, 2019.
It was on this day, 1987, the musical Les Misérables opened on Broadway based on the novel by Victor Hugo. It was the French songwriter Alain Boublil who got the idea to produce it. He shared his idea with the composer Claude Michel Schomberg. The 1980 Paris production was a success. It opened in London in 1985 and then in New York on this day in 1987. It ran for 16 years. The London show has never stopped. It's now the world's longest-running musical. It's the birthday of the children's author Virginia Hamilton, 1934, born near Yellow Springs, Ohio, wrote 41 books for children and young adults, including M.C. Higgins the Great. Virginia Hamilton, who said, "There are three things I can remember always wanting: to go to New York, to go to Spain, and to be a writer. It feels nice to have done all three. I haven't had to want anything for some time." It's the birthday of the poet Naomi Shihab, born 1952 in St. Louis, author of nearly 30 books of poems, also fiction for children and young adults. It's the birthday of the playwright Edward Albee, born Washington, D.C., 1928, adopted at the age of 2 weeks by Mr. and Mrs. Reed Albee of Larchmont, New York, of the Albee theater-owning family. They expected their son to go into business. He wanted to be a writer. He had a falling out with them when he was 20, moved to Greenwich Village, never spoke to his father again, didn't speak to his mother for 17 years. Wrote his first play, The Zoo Story, when he was 30, and 4 years later, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? It was his first Broadway play, produced in 1962 and a runaway hit. It's the birthday of Dave Eggers, Boston, 1970, grew up in Lake Forest, Illinois. When he was a student at the University of Illinois, both of his parents died of cancer within 6 months, and he was on his own at the age of 21. He later said, "On the one hand, you were so completely bewildered that something so surreal and incomprehensible could happen. At the same time, suddenly the limitations or hesitations that you might have imposed on yourself fall away. There's a weird, optimistic recklessness that could easily be construed as nihilism, but is really the opposite. You see that there is a beginning and an end, and that you have only a certain amount of time to act, and you want to get started." He wrote a best-selling book about it, a heartbreaking work of staggering genius.
Here's a poem by Naomi Shihab, Alive. "Dear Abby," said someone from Oregon, "I am having trouble with my boyfriend's attachment to an ancient gallon of milk still full in his refrigerator. I told him it's me or the milk. Is this unreasonable? Dear Carolyn, my brother won't speak to me because 50 years ago I whispered a monkey would kidnap him in the night to take him back to his true family, but he should have known it was a joke when it didn't happen, don't you think? Dear Board of Education, no one will ever remember a test. Repeat, stories, poems, projects, experiments, mischief, yes, but never a test. Dear dog behind the fence, you really need to calm down now. You have been barking every time I walk to the compost for 2 years, and I have not robbed your house. Relax. When I asked the man on the other side if you bother him too, he smiled and said no. He makes me feel less alone. Should I be more worried about the dog or the man?" A poem by Naomi Shihab, Alive, from her collection Transfer, published by Boa Editions and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.